Long ago, beyond the Rainbow Hills, there was a magical fairy kingdom called Luminara. Fairies lived there like humans, but with shining wings and glowing magic. The kingdom was grand and colorful, filled with floating lights, cheerful music, and happy laughter everywhere. The market of Luminara was always busy. Big fairies, tiny fairies, and fairy children flew from shop to shop. Some sold fruits that sparkled like gems, some stitched magical dresses, and others ran clinics where healing spells were whispered with care. At the center of the kingdom stood a giant glowing tree called the Heart Tree. Fairies gathered there to talk, laugh, and share important news. Around it were small fairy houses decorated with flowers, pearls, and tiny gardens. Luminara was ruled by a kind fairy queen with silver hair and soft eyes. Her palace shone with crystals and golden light. She often visited the market, greeting fairies with warmth, and the fairies loved her dearly. In a quiet corner of the kingdom lived a poor little fairy named Mira. Her house was small and simple. She lived with her old sick grandfather, who was weak but full of wisdom. Though they had little, their home was rich in love. Every morning, Mira wore her blue skirt and kissed her grandfather's hand before flying to the forest. With the help of birds, squirrels, and butterflies, she collected glowing herbs and flowers to sell in the market. Mira never felt ashamed of her poverty. She smiled even when others laughed at her simple clothes. In the evenings, she loved to dance outside her home, and the animals happily danced around her, clapping and hopping with joy. One day, no one bought Mira's flowers. That night, the house felt heavy with worry. The next morning, Mira heard exciting news in the market. The queen had announced a royal dance festival, and the winner would receive golden coins. Mira's heart sparkled with hope. She decided to join the festival to earn money for her grandfather's medicine. Every day, she practiced dancing in the forest, spinning gently under the trees. Other fairies prepared with glittering wings, expensive shoes, and magical jewels. The palace manager fairy was proud and unkind, often mocking poor fairies and turning them away. On the festival day, the palace glowed brighter than ever. When Mira arrived, the manager fairy laughed and tried to stop her. Sad and embarrassed, Mira flew back home in tears. Her grandfather gently wiped her tears. "Never give up, my child," he said. With the help of animals, Mira cleaned her dress, fixed her wings, and tied a simple ribbon in her hair. The next day, Mira politely asked the queen for a chance. The queen smiled and allowed her to dance. When Mira performed, her movements were filled with love, courage, and pure joy. The hall fell silent, then burst into applause. The queen declared Mira the winner not just for her dance, but for her beautiful heart. Mira used the reward to heal her grandfather and help others. From that day on, her story became a legend, reminding every fairy that true magic lives in kindness, hope, and courage.